It's 8:57 on Tuesday morning, exec meeting starts in 3 minutes and your marketing dashboard has delivered excellent news. You're updating your LinkedIn headline to Growth Architect as we speak. Then finance sends you a message. Your dashboard says we spent $0 yesterday. You investigate, the advertising data was collected successfully, the report updated successfully. Every automated process has a nice green tick next to it, but the numbers are all wrong. If a dashboard refreshed, we assume the data must be correct, but a successful refresh is simply telling us that the process completed, not that all the data arrived at its destination. In fact, it doesn't even tell us that yesterday's campaigns were included or not. It doesn't tell us that there were duplicate rows, and it definitely doesn't tell us that somebody has not accidentally multiplied revenue during the preparation process. That's why data needs testing throughout the process, not just a quick visual check after it reaches the dashboard. The first place to test the data is when it arrives from your marketing platform, whether that's via API or export files. Did today's data arrive? Are any important fields missing? Have the same campaigns or conversions arrived twice? Did we receive roughly the amount of data we normally expect? And does the total spend resemble what the platform itself is reporting? Imagine your metadata normally contains thousands of records every day, and one day only a couple records arrive. The connection still worked and the report can still refresh. But unless something checks the bad data, our dashboards are just presenting the bad data. So test the data when it arrives so we can catch the problem before it spreads into our data models and metric calculations. The second place to test is where raw platform data is turned into marketing metrics. This is where the data from different platforms is combined, campaigns are classified, and metrics like CPA, ROAS, or new customer revenue are calculated. Here's an example. One campaign spent $1,000. That campaign contains 5 adverts. During the data preparation, the campaign is combined with the advert level information incorrectly. The $1,000 is now repeated 5 times. Your report shows $5,000 of spend. Nothing crashed. The calculation did exactly what it was instructed to do. This is where unit testing becomes useful. Despite the name, the principle is fairly simple. You give one calculation a small example where you already know the correct answer. If spend is $100 and there are 10 conversions, CPA should be $10. If there are no conversions, you decide in advance what the report should display. You can also test that combining 2 datasets doesn't unexpectedly change the total spend, revenue, or number of conversions. This protects the marketing logic behind the metric, not just the movement of the data. You also need to test whether the result makes sense commercially. A system can confirm that 740% is a valid number. A marketer should probably question whether it is a valid click-through rate. Marketing therefore needs to help define what wrong looks like, which changes are genuinely impossible, which are unusual but plausible, and which should simply trigger a warning for somebody to investigate. This is why data testing cannot be treated as something that only belongs to the technical team. They can build the checks, but marketing has to explain the business rules and the decisions those numbers support. This also doesn't automatically mean buying another expensive data quality platform. For many marketing teams, the right starting point is a small number of automated checks around their important reports. Larger or more complicated environments may benefit from dedicated testing software, but the tool is not the strategy. No platform automatically understands what your company means by a qualified lead, attributed revenue, a new customer, or an acceptable difference between finance and marketing. Those definitions need to be agreed, they need to be documented and turned into checks your organization can understand and maintain. Here's an exercise. Pick one number your marketing team relies on. It might be total media spend, qualified leads, customer acquisition cost, or attributed revenue. Now trace it backwards. Where is the source data checked? Where is the calculation tested? And where does somebody verify that the results still make sense for the business? This will help you replace the testing strategy of we normally notice when a dashboard looks strange. We've put together a practical marketing data testing playbook that will explain the main testing layers, the questions marketing should ask, and how to prioritize the checks around your most important reports. Link in the description below.